Okay, so I'm making this video to show you, to give you an idea visually of what completing the square means. So let's say that we want to express, we have the expression x squared plus 4x, and that's it, x squared plus 4x. And we want to actually make that into, we want to complete the square on this, so to speak. So let's just first express this with algebra tiles. By the way, this is, if you just Google virtual algebra tiles, you'll come across this activity. So if you wanted to go ahead and look at it at home, you can try it out. But anyway, we're going to use algebra tiles to make x squared plus 4x. So I have my x squared, which is just a big square, and then I want to have 4x's. Remember, the x's are of length x, but of width 1. So they're only 1 unit wide. Alright, so this is x squared plus 4x. And it's obviously not a square, it's a big rectangle. But what I can do is I can start kind of rearranging some of these x's around the x squared because the side length is going to match up. Since the side is x, I can stack the x's up top, and I can have 2 x's along the side of my x squared. And if you can see, there is sort of a square pattern developing, but there's a big missing hole out of it. So what I want to see is, what would it take to fill that in? Now, the length of the side that's the part that's missing is 2 units, right? And the height is also 2 units, and that would, 2 by 2 is of course 4. So let's try putting in 4 1-unit blocks. Alright, and as you can see now, this becomes one large square. So if I wanted to complete the square on x squared plus 4x, I would add 4 to it. And what you can actually see is that if I were to factor it visually, the length of this big square is x, and then 2 more units, so x plus 2. And the width is also x, and 2 more, so x plus 2. So that would be another way, that would be a way to show it factored. Also, what I could look at is, if I just if you go ahead and factor this trinomial, what you'll get is x plus 2 times x plus 2. Without looking at it graphically, you can just factor the trinomial and see that. So the way to sort of remember it is that whatever that b term was that represents just the x's, not the x squared, I'm going to have to split that in 2 because I have to take part of it, half of it, and put it along the side, and half of it and put it along the top. So it needs to be split in 2. And then whatever units that was going across the top and across the side, so it's 2 each way, I want to square that. That's how I get this little square, and add it to it. Add it to the whole polynomial that I started with, and that completes the square. So what a little rule for completing the square is, if you have x squared plus bx, and you want to complete the square, then what you want to add to it is, it's the b, then we divided it by 2, and then the number we got for that, we squared that. And that will always factor into, always factor into 2 x's, and then plus just whatever the b divided by 2 was. See, it's x, and then 1, 2, and x plus b over 2. And you can see the reason we call it completing a square as well is because this is x plus b over 2 times x plus b over 2, and the more concise way to write that is x plus, close your parentheses, and then quantity squared. So that's why it's called completing the square.